Potato, potato, tomato, tomato, Tobe. No, it's Tobe. What up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of McKale Madness. That's Corey. I'm Saul. We appreciate y'all for joining us. Hey, listen, we're going to keep it short and sweet and simple tonight because we put in work this week. Listen, not everybody grinds on the weekend like Kevin and Damon, but, your boys were on the post game for PHNX Wildcats, and this guy was he did a triple header. He did two games and the post game. Major props to Corey for
hold on. 2 games, post game,
and then the day after
ASU at 1:00, like literally 12 hours later. Then did Bethune-Cookman last night, and then I'm back on here with you tonight. I have been on 4 straight nights. But hey, that's the job. I love it. Wouldn't want to be doing anything else.
Also, if y'all didn't notice, I was a little distracted when we started this show because I was trying to find a picture and I can't find the picture. But don't think I didn't notice that Corey was on his 95 Jodeci getup look tonight. Like, I mean, got the chain, got the long black sleeve shirt.
Oh, man, baby, you know what I'm saying? All the triple black. That was the official color of the 90s. Nobody took you serious. If you wasn't in all black in the 90s, you was not gonna make it. R&B, hip hop, DMX, Jodeci, everybody, you had to wear black. Let people know you was serious. The locks, Jadakiss, it's a cultural thing. It's definitely a generational thing, I should say.
For sure. No, this is absolutely. Deborah Owen said you both deserve some R&R besides being Christmas. Listen, I got the next 5 days off. Well, kind of 5 days off. Right smack dab in the middle, I got to go do my official duties at the Arizona Bowl, which I'm excited for. But outside of that, I finally get some downtime. How about you?
Well, you know what? I'm good because I think we're off tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to slide through to the Arizona Bowl. If I run into Snoop, that would be the only reason I would go down there to try to get, if I don't even know if he's going to be there, but I think he will. But yeah, man, I'm just going to come down there and check out the game and spend some time with the parents and the family and, just finally put my feet up for like 72 hours. It'll be nice.
For sure. Yeah. And he will be there. And listen, they name a bowl after you, you got to show up. And we do know he will be there. And listen, if you haven't been to the Arizona Bowl, a little side note, if you haven't been to the Arizona Bowl, there's still tickets left. Listen, I'm going to say it like this because nobody else will say it. In this day and age of college sports, especially the way the college football playoff is going, the support of these smaller bowls is as vital as ever to keep them alive and to keep them thriving, because all these smaller schools like Miami of Ohio and Fresno State, they need these kind of things because they can't always qualify for the big dog, tournaments and stuff like that. So do what you can to support the community. And listen, we gave away hundreds of thousands of dollars last year because the ticket proceeds go directly to Tucson charities, not Arizona charities, not Phoenix charities. Tucson charities. It supports the local community. So you're doing your part just by chipping in, buying a ticket, and going to represent. So please do. Snoop will be there. He's gonna, be at the little center stage thing at the tailgate and all that good stuff. Like, it's gonna be a fun time. Miami of Ohio fans were there last year, and they said that it was the best bowl they've ever been to, and they were clamoring to get back. I mean, shooting texts as soon as they were bowl eligible to our executive director saying, "Listen, please bring us back." Like, so it's very well received. So hopefully you guys all support. So
can I throw in a side note?
Go, let's do it.
This is random, but side note, because we as the OGs, we gotta mess with Kevin every once in a while. Kevin, Snoop Dogg, Arizona Bowl. I need, by the end of the show, you need to tell me Snoop Dogg's breakout single, the song that put him on the scene. It's before your time, but for the culture, that's your homework for this show.
Ooh. Ooh, are we talking about single debut or just in
I'm
general?
talking about no one had heard of that man, Calvin Broadus, until this song came out.
Okay.
And when it came out, it was a banger. It was
Oh yeah.
undeniable.
Oh yeah.
This fella is about to be a star.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. For
You
sure.
know,
Oh.
Kev got to find out. You already know.
Kev, I know you're behind the scenes. You want to pipe in and give us your instant inclination right off the bat?
My first question is like pre-chronic.
See, that let me know you don't know.
That lets you know he don't know.
That
lets you know he don't know.
Yes,
he had to ask the qualifier.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give you that one. You still gotta do a little digging. Yes, pre-chronic. I'm talking about the song that came out, and it was he was partnered up with another legend who introduced him to the whole hip hop game. But when this one came out, it was undeniable that there was a new star on the West Coast, and he was about to bring some heat. So yes, pre-chronic.
I'll do my Googles and I'll get back to you.
Oh, Google. See, these kids lean on AI, man. They you know, you got some OGs.
No AI will be used in the research.
Google AI.
It's all artificial intelligence. Googling something and pretending you know it is the same exact thing as artificial. It literally is the definition of artificial intelligence. You presenting information that you didn't know 3 seconds before you Googled.
But it's research.
Now I'm sounding old, right? I'm sounding old. Can you shut up?
Yo, Google, you gonna get on the Googles?
Hey, I asked my nephew what 3 times 3 is. He said jelly. If he don't have his phone calculator on him, he don't know. These kids don't know nothing. If they don't have a phone and Google, they at the mercy of whatever that search engine tells them, man. It's crazy.
My goodness. Well, speaking of at the mercy, there's been a lot of people at the mercy of Tobe Awaka. Boom. Segue.
Love it.
Into this one, because Tobe Awaka has been just dynamic. And listen, we could talk about Bethune getting cooked, man, but we're not going to do that.
Bars.
See like that? See that?
Yeah, clip that one, Kel. Saul is on fire right now.
But listen, we could go on and on about that. You know, Braden Burry's had a good game. Like, hey, listen, it was another notch in the belt. We're moving on to the next one. They got another kind of warm-up game, and then the fun starts, which we're all excited for. We're all ready for Big 12 conference play. We talked a little bit, and kind of previewed ahead of the Big 12 last week. We'll probably do another one again next week. But for right now, we're gonna just focus our energies on the one, the only Tobe Awaka, because his journey to Arizona from Tennessee is a little unique. But more importantly, what he has done in an Arizona uniform on the floor in the form of rebounding, to me, at watching him Saturday, I felt like I don't know if I've quite ever seen anything like him before in an Arizona uniform. Before we show you stats and graphics and all this fun stuff, Corey, after you kind of look back, you watched him play last night, what is your gut telling you about Tobe's place in the rebounding echelon of Arizona history?
Tobe Awaka will go down as one of the most physical, dominant big men that have ever worn the jersey. I liken him to Sean Brooks, Ben Davis, a Eugene Edgerson throwing elbows and grabbing every rebound, a Michael Wright, physical player in the paint, bonus possessions. Those are the possessions that can break your back in a game. Every head coach knows that. If you don't do a good job on the glass, you very rarely have a chance to win. Talented teams, you want to limit them to one shot. Tobe Awaka blows that whole formula out of the frame when he gets rebounds, especially offensive rebounds. And the thing about it is, I think most coaches are looking at their rosters and they're like, do I have a dog that can go to war with Tobe? And if you don't, you might be in trouble, because that's the thing about his game. You can't hide. It's a physical game. Shot goes up. Okay, let's lock up. Let's see who's been in the weight room. There's no way you can scheme for it. You just got to have guys that are willing to go to war. And those guys are few and far between. You and I both know off the top of our head, there's 5 or 6 teams in the Big 12 that are up to the task of banging and playing physical. The other half of the conference, probably not. So we'll see.
Yeah, I very much, I mentioned this the other night. I think I mentioned it the other night, but I very much feel like when Tobe Awaka's on the floor, and I kind of saw that on the highlight rebound that he had the other night when he went up against 3 guys, came down with it and went up against another guy and dunked, and just the crowd went crazy. It gave me vibes of when Debo was circling the neighborhood on his bike, and everybody was like, "Oh, you got to hide your stuff," you know what I mean? Like, and that's what it feels like. Everybody was just kind of like, "Hey, I'm gonna protect myself before I get engaged with this guy. And that's what Tobe does. He just debows the competition.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel every time I watch him. And the great thing about him is it's not a fluke. It's not just because he's big, because there's a lot of big guys out there. But big guys, by and large, don't necessarily mean that they're going to get all the rebounds. Toby's technique, his anticipation, all the intangibles that go into rebounding that people just kind of ignore. Everything from his physical size. The physical size helps, but his technique, his fundamentals are solid across the board. And that's the thing that I'm just enamored with when I watch him play.
So do me a favor. I want you to jump in the time machine with me right now. Let's go back 25, 30 years.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
Like that sound effect. Kev, get us some sound effects when Corey starts reminiscing. We need
Corey
time.
Kev homework.
we need time travel sound effects when I start doing my old man rants. So, Saul, you remember the era in which people got dunked on, right? Alonzo Mourning, rim protector, blocked a lot of shots, got dunked on a lot. Dikembe Mutombo blocked a lot of shots, but also got dunked on. Guys used to go chest to chest and go and bring it to you. Chris Webber dunked on a lot of people. J.R. Ryder dunked on people. Like Jordan, Kobe. Like there were always dudes jumping with and trying to protect the rim. Sometimes you got a Sports Center block. Sometimes you got put in the rim. But the point is, 5 men used to attack the rim. And now we can get to present day basketball where no one wants to get embarrassed because of Instagram, TikTok, and X. No one wants to challenge at the rim. No one wants to be made into a highlight, so they all get out of the way. That's just the mentality. Look at all the centers in the NBA. When's the last time Anthony Davis dunked on somebody? And he's one of the highest paid centers in the league. I mean, Jokic doesn't really dunk on people. Giannis and Wemby are the only cats really, in my opinion, still putting people in the rim. You understand what I'm saying? So when you get a Tobe Awaka who's going to grab that rebound, take a power dribble, and come right to your chest, the current centers, and I would blame AAU basketball, and I'd also blame the new era of, hey, I'd rather look good than play good. Nobody wants that smoke. And he's a throwback type of big man. He wants to put you in the rim. He wants to get as close to the basket as he possibly can. I did the game last night. He took 3 crab dribbles and gained about 8 feet of room with 4 feet each dribble. And then he's shooting point blank up and unders. Now, again, Bethune-Cookman didn't have the size or the strength to deal with him. But my point is still that he's a relentless rim attacker, and that is in throwback to a 90s, early 2000s big man like Shaq, where the guy goes to the rim. All these bigs now, they want to hit you with the hezzy and the fadeaway jumper. It's like, bro, you're 6'11". What are you doing? But that's the new trend. So I think he's a different type of player. I think he's a throwback player. I think the refs, and the refs are all our age, Saul. They're all older guys. They love that. They reward him for that. The other guys that are looking to get bailed out, oh, he elbowed me, oh, he pushed me. The refs are looking at him like, nah, bro, you ain't getting that call. Yeah, this basketball, the way we used to ref it before it got sissified. This is how the game used to be played. That's on you. You need to get some protein shakes and get in the weight room, because I'm not calling that foul. It's not an offensive foul. He just moved you out the way, got the rebound, and laid it back up. So credit Tobe for being a throwback player. And I'm going to be curious to see who steps up and meets the challenge. I will say this off the top of my head. Keita at BYU, same formula. That young man physical. He gets in foul trouble because he's too damn physical sometimes.
Yeah, no, he was the only one that I could think of off the top of my head that I was like, oh no, I know he'll be ready for the fight. He's the only one, though.
He built like he was mixed up in a lab. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he looked like the black Ivan Drago from Rocky. You remember it? Man, I seen him at shoot around, and I'm 6'7", well, 6'7" in shoes, and he walked by, and I was like, come on, man, we need to test this cat because he on some supplements or something. He just ripped for no reason. How you rip that shoot around? Like, he just big for no reason, man. So I can't wait to see BYU Arizona. That's gonna be a great game.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. The problem for Keita is that there's only one of him, and not that Krivas is like Tobe, but he is a big and he can dominate the boards as well. So Keita's got to do everything he can to stay on the floor in that game. Otherwise, BYU's they're not going to be able to match up inside, and it'll be a quick game. And so, but we talk about it another day. But you're right. He's the one person that I looked at across the country that I felt like physically and mentally would be ready to take on Tobe at that kind of level, right? So, but Tobe he's so unique. And how unique is he? Right now, he's averaging 10.4 rebounds a game, which on the surface you're like, oh, that's not really that much comparatively to the history of the game. But he's doing it in half the game. He's doing it in 19.9 minutes a game. That's what he's averaging right now. 19.9 minutes per game. To put it in historical context amongst all U of A greats, okay, Al Fleming averaged 11 points, I think was that 11.8 rebounds a game, but his minutes weren't recorded at that time, okay? DeAndre Ayton, who everybody always sleeps on, 11.6 in 33 minutes, okay? Bob Elliott, 10.7, and again, his minutes weren't available. The 70s, man, slacking on the minute.
Because they didn't have the digital clocks, and so they had the stopwatch joint. So
they had the rolling.
Man, you better get off Bob. You better get off Bob, man. That's my guy. That's my guy.
I love Bob. I'm not. This is no disrespect to him. He's not the one that's supposed to be the tech. Go back real quick. Umar Ballo, 10.1 rebounds per game, 26 minutes per game. Okay, and then Jordan Hill, 11 rebounds per game, and then 35.7 minutes per game. Okay. Now, if you're not on this list, because I know there's going to be people that are like, oh, what about so and so? What and so? You didn't get double-digit rebounds. Never. Not. And this is their single best season, by the way, because this right now with 10.4 rebounds per game for Tobe, 10.6 for Tobe, that is what he's averaging right now in this season. So if he keeps that up, obviously it'll go down as one of the better records. And again, rebounds per minute, his average is better than all of them, with the exception of maybe the 270s guys, because we don't know what minutes they played. But Bob Elliott specifically, he did have minutes that recorded, and that was his freshman year, by the way. So, like, props to him for averaging that many rebounds in his freshman year, because after that, they did log his minutes, and he averaged 30 basically his entire career. So it's hard for me to believe he wasn't in the high 20s at the very least during his season.
And shout out to Bob Elliott for making Arizona basketball even a destination job for a coach. You know what I mean? Bob Elliott really put the program on the map. Went to the league. Next thing you know, Snowden and then Lute and everything following that. But Bob Elliott was one of the guys that made Arizona basketball an attractive option for coaches and players. So big shout out to Bob Elliott, the legend.
Yeah, and also like shout out to Al Fleming as well. Like,
oh, for sure.
One of the most dominant bigs in U of A history. His stats are unbelievable.
Yeah,
and like he was all everything in college. Got drafted actually by the Suns, ironically enough, stayed home, but it didn't, he didn't have a long career in the NBA. But like just like two phenomenal players that we tend to overlook because we always, the current generation and even my generation is all Lute and beyond, right?
Right.
But the Ed Snowden era had some really good teams back then. So I'm glad we were able to at least acknowledge a portion of that. And maybe, maybe down the road, we'll kind of go back and talk about like maybe the things that you missed before you were born in Arizona basketball, and give it a little bit of a history lesson on some of the greats.
We'll do a seminar. Can I point out one thing?
Yeah.
So a lot of people slept on Ayton. I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question. Did Ayton reach his potential at Arizona?
Ooh, you know what?
See the pause. It's no. It's
no.
Because you hesitated. You hesitated.
No. Because if you're talking about at Arizona, like nothing else. We're not talking NBA. We're not talking him getting bounced against Buffalo. We're just talking Arizona. I think DeAndre Ayton had one of the single greatest years in an Arizona uniform by far.
Bruh.
Yeah.
He was a 7-foot lottery pick. That team that got bounced by Buffalo had 5 NBA players on it, I think.
No, they didn't.
At the time?
No, they didn't.
What was it? Trier, Alkins, him, who else?
That's it. Those are the only three.
Who was the guard?
Parker Jackson Cartwright.
Oh, okay, he's overseas. Okay, Parker Jackson Cartwright. Who was the three? The two?
Ooh.
I'm thinking. Why do
No,
I feel like
Trier was the 2,
Trier
Raleigh
was
Alcindor was
2,
the
Riley
3,
was the 3. Okay,
4, and then I forget who the 4 was. I mean, that's why they weren't in the league. I know that.
I gotta go. I gotta do my research on that. But either way, I thought that team underachieved drastically. Now
They won the Pac-12 championship.
what are they doing in tournaments? All we don't.
I
count.
know, but you can't do that though. You know you can't do that.
I can do it because we were the number 2 team in 1992. We won 19 straight games in a row, and Steve
Nash.
See, I got PTSD. Steve Nash sent us packing. That's forever what that team was. No one cares about the 19 straight wins. No one cares about the number 2 ranking. I think we won the conference my freshman year. I can't remember. He's at us, UCLA. My point is, this program is judged by the postseason. And when you got a 7-foot lottery pick guy, it's not dubbed a successful season when you get beat by Buffalo.
You did not say, did the team reach its potential?
I don't think he reached his potential either at Arizona. I mean, he did have a ball. He did have a tremendous season. He got a lot of blocks and a lot of dunks, and he had a good year on paper. But I thought he was going to Shaquille O'Neal us to the Final Four. I really did. And maybe that's just my personal.
By the way, Shaquille O'Neal never been to the Final Four.
Right, but I'm just saying the dominance factor in the inside. I thought he was going to be that force for us. But before we get off on all that, my point was
Dusan Ristic.
Dusan. Okay, Dusan's overseas making a boatload of money right now. I follow him on Instagram. He's doing really well for himself. My point was Ayton is averaging 1 more rebound per game on 10 more minutes than Tobe, and he's a full 4 inches taller. Tobe is 6'8". So when you look at what he's doing on half a game, it's insane when you also factor in the fact that this kid is shorter than most of the guys on your list.
Yeah.
So you've got to say he's playing half the game. He's not even as tall, and he's getting all these boards. You really have to tip your hat to what you're seeing and recognize that at 6'8", Ben Davis was 6'9". You understand what I'm saying? 6'8", getting all these rebounds, having the effect that he's having. It's just huge. It's just absolutely huge.
It is. It really is. I wanted to put that in context because, when I was going through the numbers, I was looking up some of the greats. I was looking up, Caleb Tarzewski, because he was good on the boards, didn't average double-digit rebounds. You look at tons of guys. Derek Williams, nope. Aaron Gordon, Brandon Ashley. You just go through the list. Chris Mills. Chris Mills was actually pretty close to averaging double digits.
He used to hit the glass. That was his thing.
Again, another player that, sometimes gets overlooked. Rooks and Mills, to me, in your era and slightly before, like 2 of the great bigs we've ever had in our history, and nobody really talks about them. But they were truly, really, really good all-around players, especially down low. So what Toby's doing is just so special and so unique because I do think that he will now. DeAndre Ayton owns the single season record for most rebounds in a season. So, and I think it's like 706 or I'll double check, but it's something like that. Right. Toby, I don't think Toby can get there because I don't think he's going to play enough to get there. He's going to have some 15, 18, 20 rebound games from time to time. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the minutes to get there. If he played 30 minutes a game, I have zero doubt that he would end up being the single season leader in rebounds after probably by game 25. That's how dominant he is, but that's not going to happen. So we'll see if it happens. We'll keep track.
I'm going to say this, Saul. I don't want Tobe Awaka anywhere near the all-time rebounding numbers because that means we're still throwing up bricks from 3. I want guys to start making shots. I don't want to see Tobe with a whole bunch of offensive rebounds because that means we're missing. I would rather see us knocking down shots. It's a weird dynamic. Celebrate the rebounds, but that means the ball ain't going in. Now, he does do a great job on the defensive glass as well, but damn, can we start making some shots, please? Because what if he can't get 6 offensive rebounds and win us 6 extra possessions and we go 3 of 6 on those possessions and that's 9 extra points and that's the difference in the game. Tobe really just saved the game by giving us a second chance 6 times in a row. So those are the things that I'm I'm grateful for what he's doing, but personally, there's not a better feeling than locking up under the glass and watching that ball go through the hoop and just releasing and running down court. Because my guy made the shot. I'm in position, but he made it, so whatever, But when it's coming off and they're counting on you to win a few extra possessions each game, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. We've yet to see Arizona. We've seen Krivas in foul trouble. We've seen Koa Pete in foul trouble. I don't know that we've seen Tobe with 2 early ones. I feel like we have in some of those games.
Florida was one of the
Florida.
He struggled to get on the court.
One of the early fouls was a ghost foul, I thought, but that's just neither here nor there. But the point is, you've got 80 minutes of playing time. Well, you've got 80 minutes of playing time at the 4 and 5, and Tommy's splitting that between 3 people. You know how comfortable that is when you're splitting 80 minutes between 3 guys, and I'm getting 27, 25. I'm going to get 25. Even if the guy in front of me plays perfect, I'm still getting 25 minutes. So those guys are all starting to settle in. Krivas, knock down your jump hook, get rebounds, block shots. Tobe, get buckets, block shots. Koa, do your thing, score points, get rebounds. All 3 of y'all are playing. So there's no fear. There's no animosity. There's no anxiety. We got 80 minutes to split between 3 big men because the rotation is set. And I think that's where, Tobe has his mind right. He knows when he's coming in. He knows what his job is. So it's, I hope he does continue to play well, but I definitely would like to see us knocking down some shots.
One might say he knows when you're sleeping and he knows when you're awake on the court.
Now you 2 for 3. The first 2 was fired. That one.
Are you sure about that? Because because my point of view, that's a very Christmas-like scenario. And speaking of Christmas lists, we have ours and our dream sheet. What we'd like to see for Christmas when it comes to Arizona basketball.
Yes.
And so we're gonna go with Corey's list first. Break that down. So let's get into it. This is Corey's list. You have Dwayne Aristotle averaging 8 points a game in Big 12 play, undefeated at home in the Big 12, become the Big 12 champions, which means they got to win the tournament, become the 1 or 2 seed in the NCAA tournament, and reach the Final Four. That's the wish list. Which one of those do you feel like is the more difficult outside of the Final Four?
Well, if the tournament champ, the tournament champ, if that's technically the champion of the league, I don't care about who wins the tournament. I want them to have the best record in the conference and league play and be in first place. Now, if that's in my definition of win the league, be tournament league champions. That's what I meant. Yeah, you want to go to Kansas City and win 2 games, maybe 3 if you can. But to me, I don't care. I don't care what happens at Kansas City. Kansas City is a dress rehearsal for March Madness. So if you get to the finals, where they lost the championship game to who last year?
Houston.
They lost to Houston. There's no shame in that. Okay, whatever. We're getting ready to, Selection Sunday is tomorrow. We find out where we're going, whatever. But what I'd like to see them do throughout the course of Big 12 play is finish with the best record of all the teams in the Big 12. And then whatever happens in Kansas City, yeah, for the fans and for the feel good, I'd like to win that. But that's not going to make a difference to the seeding committee at all. So, how they play in the league, I think plays into the number 1 and number 2 seed because I want Arizona to get a good path to the Final Four. Whether you're at the top of the bracket as the 1 or if you're a 2, I don't care. But either way, you're in pretty good shape in terms of matchups and who you play. The key for me, I definitely want McKale to be a fortress of solitude. I want to see Arizona not let anybody get a win in our gym. That BYU win last year stung. It stung because we should have won that game. Caleb Love's heroic 3/4 court heave against everybody celebrated that, but I don't want them to be that close. Like when you come to McKale, you're getting your ass kicked. That needs to be the standard in the conference play. And then if we go 600, 700 on the road, we're going to be in great shape. We go 3 out of 4 on the road, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4 on the road. We're going to be in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. Listen, they got 3 tough road games, right?
Yeah.
Going to Kansas is tough.
Yes.
Going to Houston is tough,
Yes.
and going to BYU is tough. They
Yes.
don't have to go to Iowa State though, which is nice.
Yeah.
Iowa State's got to come here. And that's tough for them, and
For
you got to
sure.
make it tough for them, right?
Right.
But those 3, and listen, this is my Christmas list because it kind of bleeds right into what you just talked about. My Christmas list is number 1. You got to sweep KU because KU is down this year. You can't mess around and let them like think that they're good and contenders. Like get them out of here. You got to beat Iowa State at home. Koa Pete, to me, if Arizona really wants to hit its peak, Koa Pete has got to be all conference. That's just my. He is the difference maker when it comes to a high level, high ceiling for this team. I would like to see them win the conference title as well and the Final Four. But to your point, I do agree with you. If they have the best record through the regular season and then they get to the Big 12 and they win a game and then drop the second one, do I care? Probably not. Not really. Not really. Now,
No.
I'm also not one of those people that say, oh, well, we played so good. We only have 1 loss. I'd rather them lose and then just rest, or let's just say they're undefeated, right? They're undefeated. You know how many losers out there will say, oh, I hope they lose so they can get it out of the way, as if that really works. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry. You got to win. And if you have that winning mentality, losing a game at that point probably does more damage than not. So win the game.
I mean, people have different philosophies on sports. Sometimes the thought process of the man in the arena is much different than the fan in the arena. And that's just, people that's what makes basketball so great. You've got, 12 players, but you've got 12,000 opinions, and that's just fandom. You get a right to express how you feel or how you'd like to do it. But you're right.
Could you imagine in your life?
Never.
You guys being undefeated,
never,
and then going into a game and having the mentality like, I kind of hope we drop this one. What?
Because the truth of the matter is, all elite athletes have a short memory. They don't care about the win from last week. They don't care about the win from 2 days ago. Every time elite athletes step on the court, this is what made Kobe great, Jordan great. They only care about that game that's going on right now. And when you interview an elite athlete after a game, you may be getting ready to praise them and ask them a softball question. They're focused on the 1 or 2 plays they missed, the 1 turnover, the bad shot, the missed free throw. And you're sitting there trying to give them a pat on the back, and they're like, yeah, we got to do a better job on the glass. And you're like, bro, you won by 16. They don't see the game the way casual fans see the game. And never in the history, you don't wake up, get out of bed, put both feet on the floor and be like, oh, it'd be good if we lost today so we could get it out of the way. That's not why you wake up at 6 a.m. and lift weights. That's not why you run sprints. That's not why you shoot 400 or 500 shots a day. No one ever wants to lose. So for people who say, oh, they believe in superstition and jinx and rhythm and get it out of the way and all these other creative things people come up with, it sounds good and it's great to make, all kinds of content off of, but the man in the arena is not wired that way. They want to win every time they line up, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, ping pong, golf, tiddlywinks, tic-tac-toe. It don't matter. They want to win every time they step out there.
I believe this team has that mentality. Go ahead.
One thing I wanted to point out, there are 2 things on our list that are connected. Koa Pete needs to be all conference. And on my list, Aristode got to find a way to get 8 points a game every night out. Because if our 8th guy is bringing 8 points to the tally, right? It limits what you can do to Koa. You understand what I'm saying? Because Koa put 30 on you, Florida, and the whole nation, every coach in the country. Let me see that tape. Let's break that tape down. Everybody that had Arizona on their schedule went to that Florida game. Man, this boy's skilled.
Instant fear.
Look what he did. Look how he did this. Look how, okay, we got to get. So now you've got all these things you want to do to Koa Pete to slow him down. But if Aristode is for 8 and Deli's for 9, 10, 11, 12, and Krishenkov's for 11 and JB is for 14 and Krivas is for 2, it don't matter what you do to Koa. Now you gotta just, you know what? And this is the one thing I liked about playing great teams when I was in college. When we played Cal with Jason Kidd, when we played Cincinnati with their unbelievable Nick Van Exel, when
Torrey
we
Blunt,
played,
yeah.
come on, man, when we played Allen Iverson in Georgetown, when we had to play the elite teams, when we played Michigan, when it was everybody except Chris Webber, it was so easy. And scout, hey man, they're all good. Guard your man and let's hoop. No special rules. No, we're going to do this on this guy, this on that guy. We're going to shade and help. Nah, man, they're good. Guard your man. Let's hoop. Very simple scout team. Very simple film session. So much. Those games are so fun to play in when everyone's a threat. When we played Syracuse, everyone was a threat. So you just, our point guard versus your, our two first. And I think Arizona wants to be that team where we're like, yo, you can't double Koa. You can't double down on Crevis. You can't trap Jaden Bradley on the ball screen. So now you got to play us straight up. And if we go straight up toe to toe, I think our 8 is just as good as any 8 in the country. So that's the thing. I think Aristotle scoring buckets helps Koa Pete get loose and stay loose because it's going to be a pick your poison situation.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think I put Cole on that list because I do feel like he, obviously he's kind of regressed to the mean, compared to the Florida game. We all knew he wasn't going to average 30 points a game all season long, obviously. But I think that there's definitely room for improvement in these games. When I rewatch them, I think that there's been points where he gets a little lax or he's not as energetic as, and it's hard because Toby's taking up so much space down there. But like, hey, listen, man, he's all about it. You got to be all about it too. And you got to get physical. And I don't think he's enforced his physicality as much as like somebody like Tobe, for instance. Like I would like to see him be a little bit more physical and dictate to the defense as opposed to react to the defense, which is what I'm kind of seeing a little bit more of. So I think there's levels to where he can improve for sure.
There are levels. And if you'll allow me just a little bit of leeway here, let's look to the NBA for a second. You remember when Anthony Edwards got kind of shut down last year in the playoffs? What that looked like? How they just basically put 2 people on him and they said, okay, this is what it is. You remember the years where Jokic and Giannis were dominant throughout the regular season and they kind of stalled out in the playoffs because people were kind of doing things to them. They had multiple years of 82-game seasons to learn how to play as a targeted person on offense. Now you can't stop Jokic. Now you can't stop Anthony Edwards. It's been years since you've been able to stop Giannis. These guys took seasons, 82-game seasons, to learn how to be effective against a good defensive scheme designed specifically for them. Koa Pete has to learn that in a couple of games. Not 2 82-game seasons. He's going to be targeted with gimmick junk defenses immediately. And he has been ever since the Florida game. No one lets him go one-on-one. Everybody's doing things to him off the ball screens and traps. So he's got to figure out how to play elite level basketball as a freshman in a matter of games. I just want to point out to the viewers how crazy that is. Oh, Koa's not playing the same as he was before. Bruh, you got to be able to anticipate the double team and know how to still get your game off. You got to know what these coaches are doing. And he's got a great coach in Tommy Lloyd, who I know Tommy's aware of what coaches are going to do to him. Tommy's giving him the heads up. Tommy's giving the team the heads up. This is how they're going to play JB. This is how they're going to play Koa. This is how they're going to play Deli. This is how they're going to play. And I'll tell you right now, your boy, Ivan Krashenkov, he's about to start getting game planned for too. Don't let him do this. Don't let him do that. And you're not a hooper until, and I'd say this all the time, man, you're not a hooper till you're on somebody's scouting report.
Boom. There
it is.
Yeah. I will say this about Koa Pete. I think there is one game in January that he is going to learn the most from. And this is the reason why I feel like January is actually really, really good for Arizona, because it kind of eases them in before they really hit the dogs at the end of January and February. That one game is when they have to go to TCU. And the reason why is because Jamie Dixon is the definition of FAFO. Listen, you're going to F around and you're going to find out, because he's going to craft his defense to try and stop the best player on the other team. His personnel is always gritty. They're grimy. They're physical, and they play hard. And they're very. He's just a really good coach and technically sound, and he knows how to try and attack your weaknesses. They gave Arizona a good game last year at home in McKale, despite the fact that they had nobody on that team worth clamoring about, and they didn't have much talent at all. And somehow, some way, at the end of the season, they almost made the tournament. Matter of fact, I think they might have made a tournament, but they were really close. And he had no business winning with that squad.
No.
The year before, or 2 years before, in Tommy Lloyd's first season, played in for a chance to go to Sweet 16. Who did they play? TCU. Everybody remembers the Benedict Mathurin dunk, but also remember Benedict Mathurin had to hit like a 5 foot behind the NBA line three.
He went in the phone booth. He came out Superman.
To send it into overtime. Otherwise, Arizona loses that game against TCU because their scheme and their grittiness was tough. Koa Pete's going to find that out, and that game tape, to me, will be more valuable than anything else he's seen all season long, in my opinion, because that's going to dictate how other Big 12 teams are going to try and attack. Because to me, Jamie Dixon is probably the best coach that he'll have to face up until that point. And so that's the one game that I have on my list in terms of before we get to the big dogs. So, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, Corey, anything else?
Well,
Kevin's here.
Let's check in on the young fella, see if he did his homework.
So I did a lot of homework, right?
Okay.
And I have a couple answers because I really don't know. Like, it really depends on how you define, like, put him on. What, because I feel like doggy style is what, like, really put him on the map. Like, I don't know. I wasn't there. I didn't live it. But, like, when I look back on it, that's what I get from it. He did a couple things. I threw it in the chat earlier. I said he did. Was it the Snoop? He did a song for the 1992 film Deep Cover. It was a theme song for that. I wasn't seeing much pre-93. He had 2 albums before 93, and he worked with Nate Dogg on one of them.
Stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
Deep Cover 187 on an Undercover Cop was the hit. The video, he weighs like 116 pounds, right? Dr. Dre did the beat. Everybody's like, yo, that's a nice beat, but who is that rapping on that song? 187 on an Undercover Cop. It was, man, when Deep Cover, have you seen Deep Cover, Kev?
No.
My God. Okay. Go. This is your homework assignment for the holiday. Get on, stream this, bruh. Lawrence Fishburne plays an undercover cop, LAPD, working with the CIA, goes undercover to bust a trafficking ring. And as he's undercover, he begins to realize, what's the point in being a cop? I can make more money and have more power out here on the streets as a drug dealer. And he teeters in between literally just walking away from his badge and doing it for real. It is the best gangster, one of the top gangster movies ever done. It was done in the early 90s. This movie has been ripped off dozens and dozens of times. The plot, the whole theme of it has been ripped off and redone. You've probably seen so many movies like this, but this is the original, like, gangster undercover cop movie. Dr. Dre was on the soundtrack. Deep Cover, Snoop Dogg, that was his breakout hit. I remember watching the video. To this day, me and Damon Stoudemire text each other lines from that movie. It's that epic of a movie. You've never seen a movie like this. Jeff Goldblum is in the movie. He plays the lawyer of one of the. I don't even give you the plot. Just go watch Deep Cover, get it together, and definitely Snoop Dogg's breakout hit, which set up the deal with Death Row and Doggy and the Doggy Style album. So that's the song that put Snoop on.
So I thought it was nothing but a G thing because that was the duo
that was his Billboard smash.
That was with Dre, and like that he wasn't solo yet. He was with Dre because that was on the Chronic, and that was to me. Yeah,
there's no question. That was his commercial hit. That was the one that took him global.
Because that's when Dre like blew up too. Like Dre, everybody knew who Dre was, but like that one, because of all the kerfuffle with Death Row and all this other stuff, nobody really wanted to touch it. And then Jimmy Iovine touched. He heard nothing but a G thing.
Oh, it was over.
And he heard the Sonics on there and thought, if you've never watched Oh my God, I'm blanking. I'm like, the Defiant Ones.
Yes.
If you've never watched the Defiant Ones, Kev, it is the best 4-part documentary you will ever watch in your life. And listen, low key, I wanted to do the Arizona Bowl. I was going to do the Arizona Bowl no matter what. When Snoop got attached to it, I thought this is fantastic. When Snoop was announced, somebody sent me a video of Jimmy Iovine somewhere in Northern California walking around the snow slopes or whatever, and he's got a Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl hoodie. And I was like, man, if I ever meet Jimmy Iovine, I will lose my mind. I've met Snoop. Cool. I want to meet Jimmy Iovine. That's the one, because he's the guru. Like he's the mind. He's the brain behind it all. So anyway.
I want to meet Halle Berry, so I don't care about none of that. If y'all meet whoever you are, I want to meet Halle Berry. I don't give a damn about nothing else.
I just showed my wife Strictly Business the other night, and she thought it was a good movie. Strictly Business. Oh my gosh,
bro! 90s cranked out a lot of movies that have been redone and rehashed, and the only sad thing is,
can do it like it.
My childhood is now considered retro, and it's really insulting to me, but it is what it is, man. Great movies, great culture, great pop culture.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for humoring us these last couple minutes and the start of the show.
Bruce Willis Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I don't care what nobody say. That's a Christmas movie.
Not.
Yes, it's not.
Nagasaki Plaza. You got to bring ho ho ho. Come on, man.
We do appreciate you all for joining us on Christmas Eve. And we will be back next week, same time, same channel, Tuesday, before we hit yet another holiday break. But we do appreciate you all. We hope you all have a safe and Merry Christmas. Hopefully you all get the gifts that you hope that you wish for. And also, if you have an opportunity and you haven't done so already, listen, just give back to the people that are less fortunate than maybe yourselves or us, because God knows we could use a little bit more help in this world. And there's a lot of people out there that are struggling. So if you got an opportunity to donate a toy or, serve at a kitchen or anything like that, please do. It'll warm your spirit and your soul more than any gift could ever do. So thank you all. Oh, also, we have a new member, right, Kev? We have a new member on the channel.
I mean, we can shout out G-Rod again for sure. He joined during our show earlier.
Oh, okay.
Trying to steal our members, Saul. But yeah, shout out to G-Rod.
I just saw him on the channel before we started the show. So G-Rod, and then what's that super chat we just saw? My bad.
A buzzer beater for AZ Cats G.
All right, AZ Cats G with a super chat. Merry Christmas, guys. Thanks for another show. Got a lot of love in the arena the other night, Corey. Kevin and I. Kevin was meeting with people at halftime because he's a super celeb, if you didn't know.
I see that.
And Danny Gonzalez, the defensive coordinator, gave him and Damon Dog a shout out.
Wow,
like they're superstars now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I might. Kevin might be too good to produce this show soon.
And we may lose him to the fame. Michael Jackson gonna leave old Tito and Randy behind.
Speaking of which, walking down the street with Corey going back to the studio was an experience as well, because every other person was like, "Oh, that's Corey Wood. Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey. Hey, Corey." I was like,
"I've only been on TV 10 years. It took a while."
That's so cool. That was so cool, man.
I'm what they call Snap famous. People are like, yeah, I seen you before. I'm Snap famous. They got a snap of winning it. Oh yeah, that late night game at 10 o'clock on ESPNU. I remember you. So,
there it is. I was waiting for what's the one ism you're gonna give me today.
Snap famous.
There we go.
I'm Snap famous, baby.
Until next time, folks. We love y'all. Bear down as always. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.